Welcome back to This Week at the Chamber, giving you the top 4 things that you need to know going into this week. I've got Adrielle, AC, with me today.
Howdy, guest appearance.
Howdy, a little celebrity appearance today.
I wouldn't call it that,
but
thanks for having me.
Yeah, after a long 3-day weekend, lots of damage in our area, but
Yeah,
for the most part, at least us here in this office, we're all safe, and hope that people are cleaning up and getting. I know multiple of our businesses had quite a bit of impact, quite a bit of damage.
lots of power lines being fixed, internet being fixed, utilities, so everybody hang in there if you were affected.
Yeah. So we had some special guests in town. We had a special guest in town last week, right?
Yes, Richard Eberly from AEDC, which is...
Arkansas Economic Development Commission.
I always get that wrong.
Yeah, it's all the acronyms. Right?
We were really excited to host Richard because he is a project manager. He specializes in manufacturing in different parts of the region, and so we got to showcase some of our manufacturing gems.
Yep, he had a meeting with us and North Ark talking about workforce. Like you said, when we visited some manufacturers, and then he came to City Council that night and heard about the tax back resolution, that part of the thing that he's been shepherding on behalf of AEDC for one of our businesses here locally. But like during the meeting, he was sitting during City Council, he was sitting next to me. He goes, "Okay, now what is Creekside? What is that thing that they're talking about? Wow, that's a lot of sidewalks that y'all are building. Sounds like you've guys got a lot going on." I'm like, "Yeah, Creekside's a big deal." Because, and part of what we were talking about in our meeting on Thursday, us, right, here at this table, talking about, yes, there's manufacturing here. Yes, there's, FedEx Freight being number one employer, but there's been a little more focus on the community development aspect of making this a great place that people want to live and work and play and retire to. And part of that talent attraction he was noticing coming from the Central Arkansas area.
Right, because a lot of manufacturers, a lot of business owners, or their boards, their investors, they don't just look at how much will this factory produce. They look at our workforce, which has an excellent legacy, several generations of manufacturing excellence. We call it light manufacturing. We're really kind of there's a nice concentration for the population we have of manufacturing and different types of manufacturing.
Certainly.
And yeah, it's that you taught me that term, the third place. Businesses really care, like in figuring out a new site or a site expansion, they want to know where, if we relocate people here, do they have a place where they can, kind of hang out on a Saturday or bring their family or events, coffee shops. So we're really excited because, hey, downtown's had three different restaurant type of setups, businesses going in kind of all at the same time. So he saw that Harrison's booming.
Yeah, nice shout out to the third place being like, where do you spend the most of your time, right? Number one is some combination of like where you work every day. Number two is where you go home to. And then whenever you're not in those two places, where are you?
Right.
Where is that third place in your community? And can you enhance it? Can you enhance it?
Yeah, so the enhancement's happening. So he was really impressed. And yeah, AEDC is great because they help us. They see our sites and places that are open, for business, big industrial sites, and they're able to market those to people across the nation and some international places. So it was really cool to get his full day on Thursday.
Good friends to have. So that happened last week, and looking at this week, we're the rest of these 3 items here are kind of notifying less than, that obviously June 7th isn't this week, but Boone County applications did open technically last week, but we're doing a lot of marketing for it this week. They'll be open until late June, early July. And so that's our Leadership Institute. It's it's lots of years running that people are familiar with. But those applications are open. So if you know someone that either you or your business needs to go through our Leadership Institute, learn more about the community, learn more about maybe some of themselves as a leader, we certainly want to extend that invitation.
Yeah, and it breaks the community into, I was able to, kind of shepherd some of it this past year, and I was glad to learn along because you're able to look at different sectors in the community, like healthcare, even agriculture, into different days, so that you can kind of hear from community leaders. It helps you, you may understand you're part of the community, but understanding the whole of it is kind of a really cool feature.
Right. I mean, you have your first 2 places. Dare we go back to the 3rd place? But it's, you go to work every day, you go home every day. What are all the other things happening in the community? The leadership program is certainly a place that we learn more about that.
Yeah.
So those applications are open. You can find those on our website, harrison-chamber.com. And then looking forward a little bit further, June 7th is one of our next events. That's an entrepreneurship coffee. You remember we've been doing these once a month, these events, talking about entrepreneurship and sharing stories of entrepreneurship with the sole purpose of trying to connect that community of people where they can come together and maybe get unstuck from a problem that they're facing, or have what is sometimes called a creative collision with somebody else of, hey, maybe I didn't know that AC has exactly the services that my business needs to expand or to get to the next step or to, whatever, right? So
absolutely.
Hopefully this is that.
Yeah, and going to different events we've had, it's cool. I mean, some of us, if we wanted to, if a bunch of cash ended up in our lap and we wanted to start that business of our dreams, some of us would know exactly how to go about talking to the bank, but we may not know how to draw that business plan for this is how I'm going to generate cash in the first year, and these are my expenses. So it really gets you to thinking and really helps, really helps those creative types kind of get off the ground and have resources to go, okay, how did you do that? How did you start?
Plus, it's all about community building, too, and the network of people that are trying to do similar things. And so a shout out to Arvest Bank is our sponsor for this month, for June. And we'll be joined by Eddie Bartlett from MidiServe Restoration. So Eddie's going to share some of his story, and then all of the community connections happen after that with a little bit of coffee. That always helps with connections.
Coffee
right?
always helps.
Coffee always helps.
There will also be coffee and or Pepsi products at June 12th. We're having a workforce luncheon. Segue.
Yeah, that was nice. Good segue.
We're having a state of workforce luncheon. It was something that we were working on. We were working on a program with the OUR Cooperative, and it kind of bloomed into, we decided, going to have a lot of officials, an official from the Fed in Little Rock, some economic professionals, and we're going to have some teachers attending as well, kind of getting training on how to teach economics and financial responsibility in school. And there became so many wonderful panelists that we said, why don't we make that a State of the Workforce luncheon and invite the community to attend?
I think we sat at this table prepping with Emily Tucker and said, well, if the whole point is to connect business and industry, or business and education, why would we limit it to the 40 educators that are coming and the 3 tour locations that we're going to? Why not, as part of the luncheon, let's open up the scope a little more. Let's really have more people come. And
yeah.
It's a hot topic right now and an important topic right now. We talked a lot about it with Richard from AEDC, talked about workforce and what the future looks like. So this is part of that discussion. Join us on June 12th. We're starting at 11 a.m. We'll have a panel discussion and some good food from somewhere. Yeah. We haven't decided yet. Yeah, but we've got a few weeks to decide. But lunch will be included if you buy your ticket.
Yeah, and it's great conversation. If you come in and you're from industry, you'll be sitting with teachers who
Keep going. Keep going. This is on me, not on you.
No, so it'll be a great kind of forum, because if you come in, you're from industry, the teachers who you may be a banker and have a discussion point with a teacher who's teaching financial responsibility or economics in the schools, just kind of making sure that you get a good lunch from somewhere, but also it's able to share like real world advice with each other and listen to a great panel. I think we've got 4 panelists.
We do, and the reason I can't hold my composure together is I was thinking about what I said, which was that, yeah, lunch is included as long as you buy your ticket, right? Like, lunch is free, just buy your ticket to come.
Hey, added bonus.
It's marketing.
Well, we'll talk about economics
we
that day,
call
too.
that marketing. Let us know if you'd like to come. We'll register you, send you an invoice, all the things where you can find it on our website. Thanks for watching today, and have